Hello everybody, it is Coach Pine the Pair, bubbling, however you know me, you know whose video you clicked on. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started with today's playoff predictions video, I want to make it abundantly clear, I am a Chiefs fan. I support this team right here, the Kansas City Chiefs. There might be some Chiefs bias in this video, I'm going to try to keep that out of it. We're going to start with the AFC, and we are going to go in order of the games that are going to be broadcasted. First game will be Saturday afternoon. That game is Browns-Texans. This is a game I truly think could go either way. It's a bit of an experience versus youth sort of situation. CJ Stroud obviously being probably the best, not even probably, he is the best rookie quarterback in the NFL. And Flacco, old man Flacco on his Linsanity run, if you're a fan of basketball, it's going to be a very good game that could really go either way. I think the Cleveland Browns defense will probably be too much for CJ Stroud and this young Texans team, and for that reason I have the Cleveland Browns advancing to the next round of the playoffs. Next game on the bracket is Saturday night. That game is Dolphins at Kansas City facing the Chiefs. My Kansas City Chiefs. The Dolphins have been dealing with some key injuries. Xavier Howard is out for this one. Deshaun Elliott, Kevin Holland, Raheem Mostert, and Jalen Waddle are all questionable. That's going to be a big factor in this game. Another big factor will also be weather. The wind chill for Arrowhead is projected to be negative 30 degrees during this game. I think that's going to be a big factor. Although the game is at Arrowhead, Chiefs, they've been questionable at home this season. They've honestly been better on the road. And these teams have already played once. Kansas City won by a score of 21-14. Beating the same team twice in a season, especially a good team, is not easy. But because of the weather, because of these key players being out, I do have faith that my Chiefs will beat the Miami Dolphins, though I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way. Next game, Sunday, noon for me in Central Time, Steelers at Buffalo. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one. Don't think anybody really thinks the Steelers are going to win. Buffalo's going to win this one. TJ Watt is out. The Bills have been playing some good football. Steelers have too, under Mason Rudolph, but I don't really think this one's going to be close. I got Buffalo winning that one. Moving on to the NFC, we have the Packers at Dallas for the Sunday afternoon slot. Jair Alexander for the Packers could be out of this one. If that happens, I expect CeeDee Lamb to have a pretty big day. The Cowboys, in recent memory, have not been very good in the playoffs. Jordan Love has been playing like he is that next heir to the throne behind Favre and Rodgers. Packers are a young and hungry team, and I believe the Packers will upset the Dallas Cowboys in what probably will be, if they lose, Mike McCarthy's last game coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Sunday night, we have the Rams visiting Detroit. This is Detroit's first home playoff game since 1994. That's 30 years ago. Stafford, the former quarterback of the Detroit Lions, traveling to that game makes this even more poetic. Detroit is a feisty team, very aggressive, like to go for it in certain situations. You saw it in that game versus the Cowboys, kind of came to bite them in the rear a bit. You know, it was controversial, but ultimately they could have kicked the extra point. These are two very high-powered offenses. The Rams have Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. Detroit with Jared Goff. They have a very good running back tandem in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. This game is going to be a very good one and probably the most entertaining game, if I had to pick one, out of the wild card round. But I do think that the Rams crush Detroit's hopes and dreams, and Stafford beats his former team to move on. This is a game that, I know I've said this a few times, truly could go either way. The Eagles are dealing with a lot of injuries. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Darius Slade, just to name a few. And but Baker Mayfield's also dealing with, I believe it's an ankle injury for the Buccaneers, so that could come into effect as well. Eagles have lost 5 out of their last 6. Buccaneers have won 5 out of their last 6. I think the Eagles got cold at the wrong time and the Bucs got hot at the right time. I got the Buccaneers advancing in this one. Jumping back over to the AFC, the matchups we have created are Browns, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, and in the NFC, Packers, Niners, Rams, Buccaneers. Now, these games, I'm going to start with a game that I don't think is going to be very close. That is the Packers versus the 49ers. The 49ers stood in Aaron Rodgers' way in the playoffs a lot historically. And I think this is going to be the start of the 49ers standing in Jordan Love's way. I don't think this game is, it's going to be a competitive game. Obviously, it's the NFL. But I truly would honestly be shocked if the Packers managed to beat the 49ers. It would definitely take a very bad game for Brock Purdy and a very good game from Jordan Love for that to happen. We'll just stick with the NFC. We got the Rams and the Buccaneers. This is a match that could be very good sneakily. Buccaneers just haven't really. Last week against Carolina in real life, they only put up 9 points. I don't think they can hang around with the Rams' high-powered offense, and for that reason, I have the Rams moving on to the championship to face the 49ers. Over in the AFC side, divisional round, the 5-seed Browns face the 1-seed Ravens. I think this is going to be the end of the Joe Flacco Linsanity run. Ravens are just playing too good football right now, man. They are the team to beat in the NFL. They have beaten a lot of good teams like the 49ers over the recent weeks, and they just look like a complete unit, and they look unstoppable. Chiefs, Bills in a rematch of what was a very good game in the regular season. Like I said back here, it's very hard to beat the same team twice in the same season, especially a good team. Now, Bills have been playing some really good football. Kansas City's been playing some questionable football. This right here is where you guys are probably going to say my Chiefs bias is showing, but I have the Kansas City Chiefs moving on and defeating the Buffalo Bills. I think this is a coaching thing. I think Andy Reid, I trust him to coach us out of this slump we've been in, and I believe the Chiefs will advance to the conference championship. We're going to stick with the AFC. The Chiefs' bias is probably over. I have the Baltimore Ravens beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, they are my team. I've watched every game they've played. They've struggled when the quarterback gets mobile, when the quarterback can scramble for first downs. Chiefs have not really had an answer for that. They have a very good defense in the Kansas City Chiefs, but so do the Ravens. But when a rushing quarterback comes to town, it hasn't looked great for the Chiefs, and that's really where I think the Ravens obviously shine on the run game, and especially with Lamar Jackson at the quarterback position, they have a lot of options available for them. And I think Lamar just runs all over the Kansas City defense, unfortunately, and takes them to the Super Bowl. Over here in the NFC, we have an interesting matchup between the Rams and the 49ers. This game would be very good if it gets to this point, but I think that the San Francisco team is too complete. They have too many playmakers in too many different positions. I don't think the Rams can keep up, and I don't think the Rams can stop that 49er offense. For that reason, I have the San Francisco 49ers moving on, and we have a rematch of what was not a very close game in the regular season in the Super Bowl between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. If we get to this point, if all my predictions are correct, I do think that this game is much closer than the first time these two teams met. We have Lamar Jackson over here and Brock Purdy over here. Brock Purdy, I've said it before, not on YouTube, I don't think, but in real life, that Brock Purdy is playing with the Avengers. He's like, if a regular guy joined the Avengers, that's Brock Purdy on the 49ers team. The Ravens made Brock Purdy make a lot of mistakes in the regular season. I think those mistakes get cleaned up, but I still would much rather have my team's hands in Lamar Jackson than Brock Purdy. There you have it. The Baltimore Ravens are my predicted Super Bowl champions. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, maybe for the Super Bowl, let me know in the comment section down below. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm Pine the Pear, and that's my take.